Hello, my name is Dr. John Kennedy. I'm the Medical Director of Therapy Fertility. I want to talk about this week's budget announcements. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff in the budget, but some of the stuff actually matters to us, which is relatively unusual. Last year, a public funding IVF scheme was introduced. It had certain restrictions and certain criteria that you had to achieve in order to be eligible for publicly funded fertility treatment, either IUI, IVF, or ICSI. In the last budget announcement, it was announced that these criteria would be widened and a greater cohort of patients would be included in it. The two big changes are around secondary infertility and the use of donor gametes. So secondary infertility, so functionally what this means is that last year, couples who had had a child together were not eligible for a publicly funded cycle. Now they are. So secondary infertility has been recognised as being a real thing. The second, and this was probably the more glaring omission from the initial offering last year, was the use of donor sperm and potentially donor egg. We know there's lots of couples, specifically same-sex couples, who will obviously require donor sperm to avail of treatment, and throughout the last year, that hasn't been a possibility for them. So what the scheme has committed to now is enabling those couples who need donor sperm to avail of fertility treatment with donor sperm. Now, the small print on this, we don't know. We don't know, will the government pay for the cost of the donor sperm? We don't know what the eligibility criteria will be. Will you need to do IUIs before you can do IVF? I don't think anybody really knows. I don't think they even really know if donor egg is going to be included in this or not. I suspect not. But that will all be ironed out over time. To be fair, last year, my biggest concern when the scheme started was that they'd put it in place and the shortcomings would never be addressed. So this is incredibly important that they have done that, and in reasonably prompt fashion. Of course, there are still cohorts of patients missing. There's clearly a need to provide a second cycle because so many couples will need one. There's clearly a need not to restrict cycles for people who've had two privately funded cycles. And I would love to see a softening of the BMI criteria as well, or at least, in the absence of that, some adequate and actual supports to help people with weight loss rather than just tell them to go away and lose weight. So overall, very much to be welcomed. If you need more detail on any of this, you can look at the website. We have details of how to apply for the scheme, the public funded scheme, attend your GP, how to get referred, and then come through to us. Obviously, the quality of care and the standard of care and the cycles you would do here are identical, irrespective if you come through as a publicly funded patient or a private patient. You can't pay more for a better service here. It's one of our central core theses. So, as I said, delighted at the news, and if this is something that's suitable for you, act early. Take care.